Hi everybody, can you hear me? This is Jessie over at Decker Truckline. We are live for today's Monday Minute discussing our lease purchase program. Let me know that you can hear me. Just give me a great big thumbs up, like button. And of course, leave a comment in the comment section so that we know that you can hear me. That if you have any questions, of course, leave those in the comment section and we will try and get back to you as soon as possible. You can always get a hold of one of our recruiters at 888-668-0698, or you can apply directly online at drivedecker.com. If you are a current Decker driver, then of course you can get a hold of the recruiting department, driver services, or your driver manager for any questions that you might have involving any of these. All right, well, good to see you guys. I've got some thumbs up, so we're going to dive right in. Hi, Malcolm. How you doing? All right. Hi, Jeff. So we're going to talk about our lease purchase program. And this is a newer program for us here within this last year. We had a little bit different one before. So this one is kind of opening up even more opportunities for you. We've seen a lot of success with it, so we like to brag about it. So let's talk a little bit more about lease purchase. And I'll kind of hint on some of the owner-operator questions as well. If you have questions about any of our openings, any of our available positions, or what we may or may not have, then again, leave it in the comment section. We will address those as they come in. So again, that telephone number to our recruiting department is 888-668-0698. So we're going to go ahead and start with the lease purchase, and we're going to talk about our over-the-road refrigerated division. So our Midwest refrigerated and our over-the-road that's based out of Missoula, Montana, that one is all, those are refrigerated, of course. And mileage is going to be a little bit different, but overall, the plan is the same. The trucks are newer model, so you'll either look at a brand new Peterbilt or a Peterbilt that's a year old. So they're mostly 579 Petes. They have, they're all automatics. They're very well maintained, of course, because they are newer model. Now you can choose a year old or you can choose a brand new one, and it all depends on what's available. So if I only have brand new ones available, then you'll either need to wait until an older model is available if that's what you're wanting, or stick with one of the newer ones. If you're looking for a brand new one and I currently only have trucks that are available that are only a year or that are a year old, then you'll need to wait till a new shipment comes in. So as of right now, we've got both and we should be ready to go. So again, with the over-the-road refrigerated, we pay $1 a mile plus the fuel surcharge, and that's for our lease purchase program. And you will get the fuel surcharges on all dispatch miles as well as the pay per mile. So again, on all dispatch miles loaded and empty. Now, before I begin, I should have mentioned that you do need to be a company driver for a minimum of 90 days before you transition into the lease purchase. If you're a current driver for Decker, and you've already been here 90 days, then I think you've done your duty and you are now open to do this lease purchase. Make sure that you qualify, and you can get a hold of, Darren's a good one. You can get a hold of one of the recruiters. We can answer your questions in any of the lease purchase information. So let me make sure I'm not missing any questions here. All right. So with the over-the-road and the Midwest refrigerated, it is $650 per week for the truck payment. And then you've got additional expenses such as fuel and insurance and whatnot. You do need to make sure that you're running your lease purchase like a business. I mean, ultimately it is a business. So be sure that's how you're running it, that type of mentality, so that you can succeed. And the whole idea about the lease purchase and having you do the company position first before transitioning into the lease purchase is to make sure that you are set up for success. So that you're ahead of the game. You're going to succeed in all aspects of this. So with the over-the-road based out of Missoula, you're looking at a little bit higher mileage, number of miles on a weekly basis than you are in the Midwest. But within the Midwest, we can get you home a little bit more often. So it just depends on where you live and what kind of miles you're looking to get. Of course, if you're in the Midwest and you want to run coast to coast, run out of the Missoula division, you can do that if you want to stay out 2-3 weeks at a time. Obviously, an option. For lease purchase, I do feel that it is even more successful for those who do stay out at least 2 weeks at a time. But there are some areas, especially in the Midwest, that we can get you home on a weekly basis. So let me just double check. Some of the areas that we can get you home on a weekly basis are anywhere in Iowa for the Midwest refrigerated. Chicago area, Kansas City, the northwest corner of Ohio. So you've got Toledo, Lima, Bowling Green, that area. Fort Wayne, Indiana, great area again for the Midwest, getting you home on a weekly basis. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or Sioux Falls, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska area. Those are all good areas. So Sioux City, Iowa, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Omaha, Nebraska, Fort Wayne, all of those home on a weekly basis. Now, 12 to 14 days out, of course, that's going to expand more into the Midwest. We can get you home every 14 or 12 to 14 days as well. David, we hire both company and lease purchase. Now, with the lease purchase, though, keep in mind that you do need to run for 90 days as a company driver, get yourself set up and know the program, get to know your driver manager a little bit, and get a rhythm before you start in as the lease purchase. For our lease purchase option, you do need to have a $1,500 down payment for the truck. Again, these trucks are either brand new 579 Pete's or they are a year old. I think you might even have the option to do a 2-year-old or a 2-year lease agreement as well. The brand new trucks that we're offering for lease purchase, they are in a 4-year lease. So you've got a 4-year lease at $650 per week. The first 2 weeks, when you transition from company into lease purchase, the first 2 weeks, the payment is waived. So that's a huge plus, again, getting your feet under you and being able to get that rhythm and come out of the gates in the right direction. Bob, are you asking home time in Indiana? Is that if that's what you're referring to? If you're in the Fort Wayne area, we can get you home on a weekly basis. If you're a little bit further to the east, you're probably looking at about every 12 to 14 days out. Hopefully I'm hitting the right area on that one. So, okay, so that is my lease purchase over the road refrigerated. Now, I do want to hit on a couple of other expenses with the lease purchase so that you get to understand that. We do have the maintenance account, which is you pay on all dispatch miles. So it's an extra 8 cents a mile. And we have the security reserve. So the security reserve, I'll come back to the maintenance, but the security reserve is 2 cents a mile. And that's going to build up into $2,000. Now, once you hit $2,000, that's just going to sit there. That's an escrow account. And that is set aside in case you have any claims, any deductibles that you need to meet because of maybe an accident or what it might be. So that is there set aside to protect you and make sure that you have that in case you need it. Now, that's one entity. Then you also have the maintenance account. The maintenance account is going to build up till $10,000. It's 8 cents a mile on all dispatch miles that you will be paying for all the miles that you run up until you reach the amount of $10,000. Now, if you have tires that need to be replaced, if you have really anything that's not covered by the warranty, will be covered by the maintenance account, as long as it's not something that you are at fault for. I mean, tires, regular maintenance like tires and oil changes and batteries and anything like that is all covered under that maintenance. All right, Bob. Yes, so you'll probably set up as a company driver first, I imagine, and then transition over if you'd like. David, we do hire out of Florida for the over-the-road flatbed, and I'll get more into detail in our flatbed lease purchase as well, which is an awesome opportunity, which is brand new to us. So we're pretty excited about that. And yes, we do have a pet policy. If you are a company driver or an owner-operator and you're interested in having your pet ride with you, as long as it is less than 35 pounds or less, you can get a waiver for your pet. Now, there is a deposit required at $750. $250 of that is non-refundable, and that's going to cover all the cost of cleaning and maintenance or whatever all of the expenses end up being to make sure that the truck is still top notch once you get out of it. Remember, our trucks are a newer model. We keep them about 3 years, so an average of about 18 months. So once we're done with it, of course, we want to make sure it's still in good condition in case anybody purchases that. As a lease purchase, same thing. It is a walk-away lease. So if you decide that you don't want to do the lease and you've had a pet, that deductible, or excuse me, that down payment is all going to be there. Is that the word I want? That's not the word I want. So that's going to cover any of the expenses. Yes. Okay, I think I'm. Hi, Joe. How are you? Yes, John. If you own your truck, you can bring your dog. You will need to get set up with our HR to get the pet waiver. And the pet policy is only for dogs. Again, 35 pounds or less and non-aggressive breeds. We do have a rider policy. The rider policy is $25 a month. Usually it's after 90 days. It's $25 a month and ages 10 to 69. For that. Absolutely, we do have that rider policy. Okay. So back to the lease purchase. Now the lease purchase, what I haven't said is, and I've mentioned the maintenance account, that escrow, I've mentioned the security reserve account in case you had, it's safety and security in case you had a deductible that you needed to meet. So those two are set aside, but you have extra pays. So you're paying $650 a week for the truck payment. Again, the first two settlements are waived, or the first two payments are waived when you transition from company to lease purchase. I'll get it out one of these days. We pay you $1 a mile on all dispatch miles, loaded and empty, plus the fuel surcharge. So whatever the fuel surcharge is, you'll get that on all dispatch miles as well. You get a penny per mile raise every year on your anniversary, and it does top off at $1.05 right now. And we have a $5,000 bonus that you'll get as for the lease purchase. Now this is considered a sign-on bonus, but it's broke out and extended in. So as a company driver with our $5,000 sign-on bonus, you get that on your 1 year anniversary. As a refrigerated driver, you need to meet a minimum of 110,000 miles. The same for the lease purchase, must be 110,000 miles. If you're a flatbed, it's 100,000 miles. But you get paid, as a company driver, you get paid that full $5,000 in one lump sum on your 1 year anniversary. As a lease purchase driver and as an owner operator, you are paid $500 on first dispatch as a lease purchase or an owner operator. So $500 on first dispatch, $500 after 30 days within the lease purchase, and then the remaining $4,000 on your 1 year anniversary. Again, you must meet the 110,000 mile minimum for the 5,000 total, as well as the 100,000 mile minimum for the flatbed for the total for the year. So that's the 5,000, and you also get a 3 cent a mile bonus every month, or the opportunity for it, because it is competitive. So I'll explain that a little bit. Blah, blah, blah. The 3 cent a mile bonus, it's figured every month, and it's based off of a scorecard. So claims, miles, safety, preventable accidents, service failures, CSA violations, those are all calculated in to determine what your scorecard will be. And the higher your scorecard, the more money per mile that you'll get within that bonus. So you have the option of getting 1 cent, 2 cents, or up to 3 cents more per mile. Again, this is for my owner operators and my lease purchase drivers. And paid every month for that, figured every month for that. Any questions on that? I'm kind of pay. John, if you're referring to the pay for the lease purchase refrigerated, it's $1 a mile to start off with. And it goes up in penny per mile increments every year on your anniversary. It tops out at 105, and the pay is $1 a mile plus fuel surcharge, all dispatch miles, loaded and empty. Now that the bonus, of course, is just that. It's a bonus, and that's going to be paid to you every month. It depends on the type of violation, what can disqualify you. Caesar, to answer your question, violations such as a 15 over ticket, a reckless, careless, a DUI, let's see, lane violations, mobile phones, talking on handheld phones or something like that. Those are all violations that would immediately disqualify you. Those have to be at least 3 years old for us to work with them. Of course, DOT recordable accidents that are preventable, that's also going to disqualify you for working as a company driver or an owner-operator or a lease purchase. If you have something specific, Caesar, and you want to go ahead and leave that in the comments, go right ahead. I'll be happy to answer that for you. Otherwise, you can get a hold of the recruiter at 888-668-0698, and they can answer it directly for you as well. Either one. No, Rodney, no, you wouldn't be. We're still looking to push you and get you miles. We're still looking to help you do better. And, you know, part of that is we have a, okay, so Rodney's question is, how would he be treated, or would he be treated differently if he was lease purchase versus company? And no, however, when it comes to lease purchase, we want to make sure that you are, that you can exceed the number of miles, and you're really good at time management. We want you to be good at time management as a company driver, but for you to succeed as a lease purchase, you need to be on top of your game. This is a business, you are running the business, you are the business owner, and therefore you can't rely on somebody else to tell you, you know, to hold your hand through it. We want to make sure that you can put it on your shoulders and run the business. So when it comes to being treated differently, you wouldn't be. We're still going to get you the miles. If you prove yourself as a company driver, we're going to keep getting you the miles. Same as the lease purchase. But if you want to transition into the lease purchase from company, obviously that's fine. That's great. We encourage that. It isn't for everybody. There was a point I was going to make besides that. I got to think about what that was. I don't know, I lost it there, but I was going to address the company driver and being on top of your schedule. Because if you are not managing your schedule right, you're probably not good for lease purchase. Oh, I know where I was going with that. We have a driver services department, and they help you, coach you through getting those bonuses every month. So whether you're a lease purchase driver or a company driver, we are literally set up to help you, assist you in your business or assist you in your position. So we want to see you do better, because if you do better, we do better. And there's no reason to not help the company or the lease purchase one above the other. We want success all around. So, but my point was, where I was going with that, is that those driver services, they're there to coach you to make sure that you can get the top dollar on everything, whether it be the extra cent per mile for the lease purchase bonus, the owner operator bonus, or the company monthly bonus. We want to make sure that you top out on all of that. And so they're there to coach you and help you realize, oh, you're not getting the miles. Well, let's see why you're not getting the miles. How can we get you there? Oh, you had a claim. How can we prevent that from happening next time? Accidents and so forth. Hey, Jerry. Long time no see. All right, now, so let me make sure that I've got all that right for the Midwest and the Western flatbed. I don't think I missed anything yet. We do take care of the base plates and the permits. For the refrigerated division, the base plates and the permits are taken care of by Decker Truck Line. However, if you want to do the, if you leave early, within the year, they're prorated. So you're responsible for part of that. But yes, at least the base plates and the permits are taken care of. It is a walk-away lease. Kyle, to answer your question with my flatbed. Now my flatbed, we've got it out of the Midwest and we've got it out of the Southeast. Depending on where you live, if you want to leave that in the comment section, I can be more specific on what states we have the lease purchase in for the flatbed. I can tell you that there are a number of states that we don't offer lease purchase, period, whether it's flatbed or refrigerated. California, Nevada, Colorado, Illinois, I'm cheating here, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, those are all states that we don't offer lease purchase in. And then the majority of, well, then the Northeast as well, because we don't even hire up there. So we don't have those states for our lease purchase at all. For a flatbed, if you live in the Southeast, you're most likely going to be available for the flatbed lease purchase as well as flatbed company. We now opened up the hiring area for Oregon and Washington, and that is open for lease purchase as well for flatbed. Caesar, to answer your question on what a company driver starts off, it does depend on whether or not you're flatbed or refrigerated. A flatbed is anywhere from 42 to 52 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem. In refrigerated, you're looking at, these are all for experienced drivers, by the way. If you're a student, it's a little bit less. But if it's for flatbed, anywhere from 42 to 52 cents a mile. For refrigerated, anywhere from 40 to 50 cents a mile for all refrigerated positions. And again, 10 cents of that's per diem. It is a walkaway lease, Wayne? Yes, Ronnie, a driver can still make good money in the lease purchase and get home weekly, but only in certain areas. Iowa, parts of Illinois, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Sioux City, Omaha, Nebraska. Those are all areas that you can still succeed with the lease purchase and get home on a weekly basis. We won't allow you to transition if you need to be home on a weekly basis. We won't allow you to transition if we don't feel that we can get you good miles and a high income in your area if you need to be home on weekends. For refrigerated, David, for 2.5 years experience for refrigerated, you're looking at about 42 cents a mile in the Midwest. For the cents per mile, and then as a company driver to start off with, 43 cents a mile as a company driver to start with for the Midwest refrigerated. For the over-the-road refrigerated that's based out of Missoula, Montana, you're looking at about 40 cents a mile to start with. Now for flatbed, you are looking at 45 cents a mile if you have experience in flatbed. If you don't have experience in flatbed, you're probably looking at about 42. 2.5 years. Could get you up to 47 depending on how much experience you have in flatbed, David. So Bob, you're asking what trucks are available for lease purchase. Right now there are 579 Peterbilts. They're a newer model. You can either get brand new trucks or you can get a year old. And the length of the lease will depend on how old your truck is. So if you're looking at a brand new truck, it's a 4-year lease. If you're looking at a year-old truck, it's a 3-year lease. If it's a 2-year-old truck, it is a 2-year lease. And for flatbed, the truck payment is $475 per week. Again, the first 2 weeks are waived. So the first 2 weeks are waived, and that is to help get your feet underneath you. And the pay is 72% of the load for the flatbed. 72% of the load. Maintenance account, still 8 cents per mile. You have the security reserve escrow, which will cover you for any deductibles or claims or anything. That will be up until, so 2 cents a mile up to $2,000. And the maintenance account is 8 cents a mile up to $10,000. But they're 579 Pete's. They have APUs, they have refrigerators, bunk heaters, CV units, navigation, company paid navigation, Sirius radio, Sirius Radio is covered by Decker Truck Line if you have referred 2 or more drivers and they've been hired on. So that is definitely a plus. We've got a great referral program too, if you're interested in that. Rodney, yes, Fort Wayne, fantastic. So you can look at weekly home time out of there and still do really well. And when I say really well, I guess I should probably make sure that that's really well for you. Let you make that opinion. You are looking at about $1,300 to $1,500 take home per week and getting home on a weekly basis out of Fort Wayne. Spokane, Washington. So Jesse, I have, I think if you asked this before, it probably has changed because I now have flatbed out of Spokane and I didn't before. So I have flatbed that would be based out of Bessemer, Alabama, and it would get you home about every 2 to 3 weeks. You know, we can get you home every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. Obviously your miles will fluctuate a little bit depending on how long you stay out. And then we have our over-the-road refrigerated, which is based out of Missoula, right next door to you pretty much. And again, good miles, you're looking at 14 to 17 days out at a time for that one as well. Both those options have lease purchase. So both company and lease purchase options out of Spokane for refrigerated and flatbed. The only difference really for, well, there's a couple differences, but for miles and everything, our flatbed is going to be based out of Bessemer, Alabama. So you run a lot of west. The longer you stay out, with the flatbed, you could be seeing more of the southeast and Midwest. But if you're planning on staying or getting home about every 2 weeks, probably do more west. With the refrigerated, it's a lot of west and a lot of Midwest coming out of Washington. But Spokane's a very good area for us. Omaha and Sioux City are the same distance from your house. Bob, you are in a good spot. There's a whole lot of freight around you, and we can get you home on a weekly basis, absolutely. We don't have lease purchase out of California. Sorry, Lamar. California, Nevada, Colorado, Illinois, those are all states that we do not offer lease purchase. Okay, so I am reading Barbara's comment right now. Love to hear that. So good, we love to hear that we're taking good care of you there. That's fantastic. Barbara, I love to hear that. Taking care of your husband, he's been here over 2 years. Thank you so much for sharing that. Love to hear it. Sharunte Hicks, I hope I'm pronouncing your name wrong, or right, sorry, hopefully not wrong. Statesboro, Georgia, we have flatbed. I don't believe we have any refrigerated in that area. I'll double check, but I know I have flatbed out of there, which would put you about well, I can get you home on a weekly basis. I honestly, I need to double check to see if I've got refrigerated out of there for you. Bob, when you ask if their fleet trucks are loaded, these are, if you're talking about the interior, the accessories, they are fully loaded. Like I said, APUs, refrigerators, bunk heaters. I'm probably slow getting to your comment, but hopefully that's what you mean by fleet trucks versus loaded. Now, that being said, our whole fleet is that way. They all have APUs. They all have refrigerators and bunk heaters and CB units and onboard scanners to get your paperwork in. They all have the smart drive system in them. So they're all fully equipped. We can't, Cowboy Lewis, we cannot do lease purchase out of North Carolina yet. We can out of South though. For flatbed, by the way, that would be flatbed. Company and lease purchase. Now we do hire company drivers out of North Carolina. Steve, because you have some flatbed experience, that's fantastic, and it does start your pay higher than if you didn't have flatbed experience. What we would do is have you spend a day with one of our local guys to make sure that you're comfortable and that you know the ins and outs with our customer. You wouldn't have to go over the road with a flatbed trainer, but we would have you do a run or two with one of our local drivers just to make sure that you're comfortable with everything. So Steve was asking, because he has flatbed experience with a couple of different companies, if he would have to go with a trainer. Now we have, for those of you who don't have flatbed experience and need the training, we do offer securement and flatbed training or TARP training. We pay you $500 a week if you have to go out with a trainer. But if you're just doing it in-house, part of our orientation, and then going with a local driver, we'll pay you $100 a day for going with the local driver if you need that. Bob, all right, hang on for a sec. I got to double check to see where you're at. Running out of your area. Okay, Sioux City, you're looking at about $1,300 to $1,500 a week in the lease purchase, Bob, and getting home on a weekly basis. Told you I was a little behind on my comments. We don't have lease purchase, Daryl, out of Illinois. We do have company positions, and we've got several options for a company. I have local, I have dedicated, I have regional, and over the road. So if you're looking for other options, let me know. I just don't have lease purchase out of there. Our trucks are governed. Our lease trucks are company trucks. They are governed at 68 on the cruise and 65 on the pedal. Oh, Sharente, see, I just have flatbed. Sorry about that. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Like I said, slowly getting down to that. Sharente, for the training and the evaluation or orientation, that is all done in Bessemer, Alabama. So we would get you there for orientation. Orientation is a week long. We pay $800 for it. We split that up, however, so you get $400 the week of orientation. And the second $400 on your first settlement, which is the following Friday. We do that because you're really not going to be able to get very many miles at all in by Saturday night, which is our cutoff. And we want to make sure that you've got money coming in as soon as you get started. So we have the $800. Don't forget that you have $5,000 on your 1 year anniversary, and it's paid all in one lump sum for a company driver. For lease purchase, it would be $500 on, once you transition to lease purchase, $500 on first dispatch, $500 after 90 days, or 30 days, excuse me, and then the remaining $4,000 after and on your 1 year anniversary. Good, Cowboy. I hope everything is going great. Have any comments? Go ahead and leave that in. Let's read them off. We do, Tristan, we do offer lease purchase out of Texas, depending on where in Texas you're at, because I'm not sure where you're at, but depending on where in Texas you're at, we might have both lease purchase in the refrigerated and the flatbed options. If you live in Houston, if you live in Dallas, I have refrigerated in both areas. Amarillo, I have, oh, let me rephrase that. In Houston and Dallas, I have refrigerated and flatbed lease, as well as company in both areas. In Amarillo, I only have refrigerated available, both lease purchase and company. San Antonio, you're looking at more refrigerated, although I do have a dedicated van position that's company out of there if you're looking for that. But yes, we do. Daryl, as far as I know, that hasn't changed, but I will do some checking and I will make sure I get back to you. Hang on, I got to cheat and make myself a note. Checking on lease purchase out of Illinois to make sure that hasn't changed. $475 for the lease. For flatbed, we pay $670. I don't know what the $475 was. If I said that, I apologize. It should be $675 for the lease purchase for flatbed, and that's the payment per week. And for the refrigerated, it's $650. So Sean, for the $475, I'm not sure where I was saying that. But the trucks themselves are $579. I don't know what I was talking about there then. Payments on the refrigerated side, Bob, are $650 per week. That's for the truck payment alone. Don't forget that you have insurance, and that adds up to about $99, I think. $97.60. And then the maintenance escrow, 8 cents a mile. Then the security reserve is 2 cents a mile on all dispatch miles. Two hours east of Texas, or of Houston. Yes, so Tristan, you're looking more at the flatbed out of that area. You're gonna look at flatbed and should be able to get you home every other weekend right there. And of the lease purchase, that would be fine, absolutely. We don't have lease purchase available out of New York. We don't currently hire out of New York, so. David, can't help you, I'm sorry. However, if you move to where would be a good spot? Pittsburgh area, we've got freight out of there. We don't have lease purchase there, so let me eat my words there. Let's get you over to, what would be the closest? Ohio, somewhere in Ohio. Terrible, I'm telling you where to live. Okay, so Brandon is asking how much the lease purchase total is at the end of the week, not including the fuel. Well, let's cheat. I've got cheat sheets. Depending on which division you're looking at. My Midwest flatbed would end up, the total deductions would be just about $2,000, about $1,900 for deductions. And that would put you between $1,300 to $1,500 after all of your expenses. That is calculating fuel though. The fuel, that's based off of miles and stuff. So your fuel, I have about a little over $720 a week figured in that I took out of that to get you that $1,300 to $1,500. So Brandon, that's for the Midwest flatbed. For the Southern flatbed, you're looking at about $1,800 for total deductions. That's getting you between $1,500 to $1,700 take home on a weekly basis. So I hope that answers your question. Now for the refrigerated division, it's about almost $1,900 for total deductions. And that is putting you, depending on which division you're looking at, if you're looking at the Midwest division, it's putting you about $1,300 to $1,500 a week. And it's putting you a little bit higher with the over-the-road refrigerator, about 15, still within about $1,300 to $1,500 a week with the with the Western division, the over-the-road out of Missoula, but so a little bit more, hopefully. But again, that is including the fuel. So we calculated that based off of the mileage, and I think we figured 7 miles per gallon. We've got guys that are getting 8.2. So that's definitely doable. Definitely can make some good money on that. The settlement all of that comes out before the settlement. Yes, all that comes out before the settlement, Bob. The settlement itself is in the refrigerated about $1,300 to $1,500. In the Southern flatbed that goes coast to coast within the flatbed that's based out of Bessemer, that one's getting you about $1,500 to $1,700. That's the settlement. That's what your settlement would be. And with the Midwest, you're looking at about $1,300 to $1,400 for the Midwest flatbed. Cody, I don't have a 389, a 579 piece. So difficult. I do have flatbed around Knoxville, Tennessee. You're probably looking at about 2 to 3 weeks out at a time for that one, Brandon. But yes, flatbed would be available, and you're good for lease purchase as well. Again, 90 days as a company driver before lease purchase. But when you transition over, instead of as a company driver, you get a $5,000 bonus on your 1-year anniversary, paid in one lump sum. But if you transition over into a lease purchase, then you're going to get $500 after or on first dispatch as a lease purchase, $500 after 30 days, and the remaining $4,000 on your 1-year anniversary. Tristan, we might be able to get you to do reefer. Your out time would be longer, most definitely, because of where you're at. getting you through the house, we would have to get a little bit more time on that. And no, the mileage pay has changed since January, significantly, actually. For the refrigerated division, you are looking anywhere from 40 to 50 cents a mile, depending on which division you start with. In the Midwest, it's 43 to 50. In the over-the-road refrigerated, you're looking anywhere from 40 to 48 cents a mile for the refrigerated division. Remember, 10 cents of that's per diem. You do have a monthly bonus, which can bump you up an extra 4 cents a mile as a company driver, an extra 3 cents a mile as a lease purchase and owner operator. I don't know what you mean. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all, Sean. All right, Bob, I understand that. Yep, you want to get in as much time watching the kids playing the sports as possible. What do they play? How old are they? Well, got to see those Saturday night games. Those are in the flatbed. You know, you'd be home on the weekends definitely more often. In the refrigerator, we usually, it depends on what time you're delivering. So it could be home Friday night, it could be home Saturday morning. So it's going to fluctuate a little bit, but depending on how long you've been driving, I'm sure you're already aware of that. It comes with the territory. So I'm answering a lot of your guys' comments. I hopefully am getting through some of this information with the lease purchase. And if you guys have more questions, definitely put them in the comment section so we can get a hold of that right away for you. Yes, Brandon, we will have someone give you a call right away. All right. But yeah, if you have any questions, make sure that you get that in there so that I can take care of you and answer those. With the other positions, and I'll come back to some more information on the lease purchase. If you aren't already aware, if you didn't see last week's live event, we have a new van position out of Hammond, Indiana, that gets you home every other night. So if you do live around the area, every other night or every other day, we can get you home in the Hammond, Indiana area. They are vans, requires doubles. If you don't have a doubles endorsement, we can help you get that. Partner with ICC and they can help us get that. The shifts are a little bit different though. So they run their 12-hour shifts, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. And we ask for some flexibility because the customer needs a little bit of flexibility. Most of the time they are preloaded trailers. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, they're preloaded. And it is slip seating because you're kind of coming off your 9 p.m. shift. Someone's getting in the truck, running the next shift, and back and forth. So if you have any questions on that, make sure that you get a hold of one of our recruiters, or like I said, if there's a position here that you're listening to and you want to take advantage of it, get your application in right away at drivedecker.com. There you go, Bob. I have a 6-year-old, almost 7, and they are also getting into it. Fun age. Get them started young. Love sports. Okay, what else do I have? So that was my Hammond position. I also have a couple other dedicated positions around that R van. San Marcos, we've got that position there. That's a big opportunity. A lot of opportunities down there for the van. Gets you through the house every 2 to 3 days and then off every 3 weeks. And it runs the state of Texas. Again, if you don't have any doubles, if you don't have your doubles endorsement, don't have the experience, we can work with our community college here in Fort Dodge, ICC, and they will help get that doubles endorsement for you. And we pay you $100 a day while you do that, and then you'll be certified, ready to go. They're not all double loads, but they definitely have some, and so you need to be prepared for it. But those we can help you obtain. I'm slow. Yeah. Bob, I don't blame you. So Brandon, with the lease purchase pay, if you are refrigerated, it's per mile, and it's $1 a mile, loaded and empty, plus the fuel surcharge. So it's loaded and empty, fuel surcharge on all dispatch miles. If you are flatbed, it's 72% of the load. And while you're running as a company driver, you'll be paid, obviously, the company rate. And that would be based off of how much experience you have and what division you're running. So if you're in the Midwest and you've got 2.5 years of experience, you're looking at about 44 cents a mile for the Midwest refrigerated. For the flatbed, you are looking at 46 cents a mile. And for the over-the-road refrigerated, you are looking at about 43 cents a mile. So 46 cents a mile for the refrigerated Midwest, 43 cents a mile for the over-the-road refrigerated for 2.5 years. Flatbed, you are looking, what I say, 40, depends on if it's all flatbed experience. 47 versus 45 if you don't have flatbed experience. Okay, I think I answered that correctly. Wichita Falls. I don't have dedicated out of there, but I do have, I have a dedicated local out of, ooh, that one's full. No, I don't. So Wichita Falls, I have more of a regional. Can get you home every other weekend in my flatbed. I can get you home about every 14 to 17 days in the refrigerated. You'd be running them like up and down the Midwest for that one, Cowboy. And that's if you were doing company or lease purchase. Same thing. Same diff, same options. Okay. So again, I wanted to go over the expenses because I think that's what I was getting most of these questions on for the lease purchase. Again, when you run as a company driver, you will run as a company driver for 90 days first before you can transition into the lease purchase program. The first 2 payments of the lease purchase truck are waived. And if for refrigerated, it's $650 a week. For flatbed, it's $675. Now, that being said, you do have to have a $1,500 down payment for the lease purchase. And that $1,500, you can either, if you already have it set aside, you can put that in towards the lease purchase right away. If you don't currently have that $1,500 down payment, then we can take money, we can take about $115 out, $115 out every week and have that set aside for that $1,500 payment. So once you're done with your 90 days, that'll be set aside for you. And that is to transition you from company to lease purchase. But it is a walkaway lease. And that's why we, if you have a pet, 35 pounds or less, then that's why we would have you make sure that you have that $750 pet deposit down. $250 is non-refundable. Bob, those hoppers, I do have hopper positions available right now. The shift is 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and home on the weekends. So that one pays 42 cents a mile right now. We are looking at that. So if that's something you're interested in, Bob, let me know because we might have some changes on that. Yeah, so if you transition Cowboy into lease purchase, you've got both options. Either or. Okay. Also, for expenses that we hit on, for those of you who might have missed it, we've got the truck payment, of course. The insurance adds up to about $97.60 a week. Yeah, $97.60 a week for the owner-operator insurance. The base plates and permits are taken care of for the refrigerated division. 2 cents a mile for the security and safety escrow. That tops out at $2,000. So once you're there, you're good. And then the 8 cents a mile for the maintenance escrow. So it covers you so you don't have any of those frightening, oh, I need to get my tires and not have the money. That maintenance escrow will take care of you. You can go from the hopper to the lease purchase. So, I mean, you're running company. However, I don't have lease purchase available with the hopper or owner operator with the hopper. It's just company. For the rider policy, yari, you have ages 10 to 69. It's available after 90 days, and it's $25 a month. So you betcha, rider policy. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Whew. Okay, any other questions on this lease purchase? I say that and then I'm slow. Yes, Bob, then yes, you can. You can transition from the hopper to the lease purchase on the refrigerated side. Absolutely. However, we would like to keep you on, if you start as a hopper, we'd like to keep you on that, but that is still an option for you. Hopper position is a pretty good one too. Gets you home. It's a 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift. Gets you home daily there. For anybody interested in that, you must live around the Fort Dodge, Iowa area. It runs from Fort Dodge to Blair, Nebraska, and back. That's what that does. $106. Yeah, in this one, this should be $97.60 for the insurance total. I'm pretty sure that's what I have here for you. Yep. Okay. And of course it depends, the cost of the insurance depends on the cost of the truck. So that could be some of it. Okay. What else am I missing? Anybody else? Any questions on the trucks or anything? Hit on most of that. Some of our other positions, and I'd like to just get a word in for those. I mentioned the Hammond, Indiana van position and our San Marcos van position. We also have positions out of Richmond, Virginia that'll get you home every other night or every other day, and that is also van doubles. We can get you in there. It would be, from where you're at, it would be a very long commute. I forgot that's where you were. Between Omaha. Yeah, that would suck. We wouldn't even hire you for that. We wouldn't put you into that position. All right, let's see. So the Richmond, Virginia, that one is going to get you home every other night, and it runs about a 500-mile radius. Good miles on that one. And that actually pays mileage, whereas the van position out of San Marcos and Hammond, that's going to pay per shift. So San Marcos, you're looking at anywhere from $175 to $200 per day, and $200 for the Hammond, Indiana position. Home daily out of Hammond, or home every other day in Hammond. And of course, the Midwest van, we've got positions. That's a semi-dedicated position for our Midwest van. It gets you home about every 14 to 17 days. Some areas we can get you home on a weekly basis for that as well. New opportunity, doing a lot of pet products. So kind of works hand in hand, start to allow pets, open up that policy. Now we're hauling pet products. Harlan, Iowa. Yeah, so you've got refrigerated, you've got flatbed, you've got weekly home time. Sitting in a good spot. Okay. All right. Anything else I'm missing here? Hammond, Indiana flatbed position as well. If you live in Hammond, you've got all kinds of options. You've got refrigerated, you've got flatbed, you've got dedicated. Over the road, that Hammond short haul is basically home daily. If they're construction or weather or something that could prevent you from getting home daily, but it's usually home daily and it's 2 loads a day. So you get paid $100 for the first load, $125 for the second load per day. That's flatbed. We have St. Joe, Missouri to Chicago. That can be a multiple stop in Chicago, but that's a dedicated, gets you home every other day. Pays per mile. That has a $2,500 sign-on bonus, as well as our Sioux City to Chicago. Might be another one you're interested in. Sioux City to Chicago gets you home every other day. Per mileage paid, $2,500 sign-on. I don't have anything out of New Jersey right now, Joe. The Northeast isn't an area we run a whole lot of at all, so we don't hire up there. Sorry about that. No point on flatbed. Sure, Bob, we'll train you. We'll help you out. All right. I think I hit on all that. See, there, I told you. You just gotta listen to me, Bob. I told you that Sioux City is not a bad one. Although your comment earlier about Chicago, you do run, it's going straight to Chicago every time. So multi-stop, possible multi-stop, but no touch free. Joshua, let's get a hold of you there and double check the distance with San Marcos, just because we're really particular on how close you are to make sure that you can take care of that customer, because it does originate out of San Marcos, and then it'll go to Dallas, it goes into San Antonio, Houston, really the state of Texas, getting you home through the house every 2 to 3 days, and then actual home time about every 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. But yeah, let's look at that specific address and then we can tell you. Okay, so we'll make a note to give you a call here shortly. And if you have doubles, then obviously that's perfect. If you don't have doubles, we'll need to get you trained for that so that you're qualified. Okay. All right, don't forget, we have a recruiting department ready to answer any of your questions. You can reach them at 888-668-0698. If any of these jobs, whether they were company or lease purchase, sounded like the bee's knees to you and you want to get signed up for it, then you can apply directly at drivedecker.com. Check out our new website. It's supposed to be more friendly. Pretty excited about that. Couple other things. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this. Dang nabbit. We've got a referral bonus that we've been doing the referral bonus where the more people that you refer, the more pay you get for each referral. So it starts at $1,500, all paid off within 90 days of the time the person hires on. So 90 days, and then you also get, let's see, $1,500 for the first 3, 4, and 5, you get $2,000 per referral. And if you refer more than 6 in a year, then it is $2,500 per referral. So, and that's just the pay benefit. And you can win a trip. There's quarterly bonuses, a Sirius radio that if you refer more than 2 people that are hired on, the Sirius radio is paid for you. Driver referral cards, those are handy dandy. Matt, I forgot to check with you last week to make sure that you got yours. Let me know. And those are awesome. They're handy because everybody's coming up to you in the truck stops or wherever you're at anyway, the shipper and receivers, and you can hand them a card once they're done asking you the questions. Have them call us. We'll answer the questions for you. Gregory, we do not currently hire out of Killeen. Not an area we have a lot for you. Rider policy is after 90 days, it's $25 a month, ages 10 to 69. So Bob, you've got 3 years for your little one before he can ride with. So 3 years of practicing his basketball and football before he can come on. Tempt him with that. All right. Okay, so I hit on the referral bonus, squirrel. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention was our testimonial. We have a contest right now. So if you haven't already entered the contest, you can basically what it is, it's a video contest and it's a testimonial. You'll answer 2 of our questions, what you like about Decker, how your driver manager, how the office people treat you, those type of questions. You can find out more information at drivedecker.com/video contest. And then we will pick the top winners, and everybody who submits an entry, as long as you follow the guidelines, will get a $15 pilot gift card. So no swearing, we don't need any of that, but we would definitely like to see your personality in front of the Decker truck or inside your Decker truck. Make sure it's not running and you're not going down the road, but we do want to see that pretty thing. And get yourself in it, video it, give us your answers, and once you submit it to marketing@deckermail.com, then we will take the top 3 submissions. After we choose them, we'll choose 3 submissions to win $100 Walmart gift cards. So love our contest, so much fun. And that will be announced during our Driver Appreciation Week, which is coming up faster than I thought. It's coming up September 9th through the 15th. So should be good. Oh, sure, Bob. Oh, I just remembered. Yes. I would have said that too. So the testimonial, the video testimonial contest, that should be a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited to see what is submitted and what everybody has to say. And we learn a lot from that, by the way. I don't know if you guys know, but back in June, we made quite a few changes, a lot of policy changes for the better, I think. So for the better, we heard you. We were able to get some input from everybody. And from that input, it took a while, but we were able to start to implement things that we feel really mattered to what you wanted, and have the pet policy now, the smart drive system. We've changed that and allowed some leniency on it, turning off the inward facing cameras once you've hit 120 days with clean driving. We keep those outward ones on to keep you safe. The inward ones, by the way, those are the only kick on for a critical event. So, and you can turn them on if you want for, if you've got some crazy coming up alongside you. And then what else did we do? We have the Fusion device, the lane departure device, that's been upgraded and turned off for those that had the quirky one. And so we've got some cool stuff going. All right, I think I've answered all the comments. Took me a while to keep up, but I think I've answered all those. If you guys have any other questions, concerns, get a hold of one of our recruiters. Don't forget, if you are a current driver for Decker Truck Line, we have driver services that are there and willing to help you out. Make sure that you're getting the most out of every mile that you drive and helping you get the best of the bonuses. Did I miss something here? The dedicated runs do not qualify for lease purchase. As of right now, all of our dedicated runs are only company. Good question. All right, again, 888-668-0698 to get a hold of one of our recruiters, or drivedecker.com to apply for that job that you heard that you want, whether it be lease purchase or owner-operator or a company. So again, that $1,500 deposit down payment for the lease purchase, if you don't have that, we can take that out on a weekly basis while you're running as a company driver. And you don't have to have the 115 taken out. If you want to wait till you've been with the company for 6 months, that's obviously an option for you as well too. You don't have to do it all at once. All right, I'm going to let you go. I think I've answered them all. We'll be on just looking for any tailwinders here that have any questions, but I'm not volunteering, Bob. I'm not volunteering for a dog sitter. I'm not sure mine would be happy that I would share his space. All right, you guys have a great week. It is Monday, August 13th already. So you guys have a great week. We'll have a YouTube live with some of our updates on what we have for jobs, openings, and stuff for tomorrow. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, do it. And of course, follow us on Facebook so that you don't miss all of this wonderful info that we have for you, that we give you each and every Monday at 4 p.m. Central. Okay, just making sure I didn't miss anything. All right, have a wonderful rest of your week. We will see you. Don't forget to do a video testimonial because I'm excited to see them. Take care, you guys.